Okay, so the unladen mass, it's about 13,109 kg, works out to like 28,900 pounds. And the Trident actually doesn't tell us, but when you Google it, it works out to about 35,670 pounds. And the Deer with the 120 steel booms is weighing in at about 36,482 pounds. So a little bit heavier. And the Deer for tires is running the 380s 105/50. So the Trident, like I said, is 480 80 50. So I actually prefer these ones. These are too skinny of a tire for that much weight. We're having a lot of trouble sinking with this one. We prefer the 480 if you're going to have more weight. And this is only 1,400 gallons. In terms of horsepower, you have 335 on the Patriot, 390 on the Trident, and 346 on the Deer. And the Trident is bulging 415 or 418 or something like that. And out of the three for horsepower, when I talk to everybody, the Trident is the winner. The Trident has the most horsepower. It feels yeah, it's very responsive. The doggiest would be the 4060, and that's understandable because you got to remember that the Patriot's a lot lighter sprayer, right? It's a way lighter sprayer, and you have to remember that the Deer is packing another 1,000 pounds of actual weight on top of 200 more gallons of water. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that, you know, it's going to be a little bit doggier. Now, in terms of ride, everyone's saying the Deer. I haven't actually run the Deer, but everyone's saying the Deer has actually edged everybody in terms of ride, probably followed by the Patriot. Then last place would be the Trident. Now, in terms of cab noise, obviously the Patriot wins hands down. Like, come on guys, your engine's at the back behind your sprayer tank. When you're running this machine, you can actually hear the stubble breaking underneath your wheels. But in terms of the two heavyweights over here, everyone said they're about the same when they're revved wide open. The only difference is that the John Deere has the management software, so it idle itself down when it doesn't need all that horsepower. But the downside to that is it is kind of laggy. Where this one, you either got to have it screaming, or I guess you can try and idle it back a little bit. But in saying that, it's not a hydro whine in this thing. It's engine noise. They're both engine noise. So and this one has a little different engine noise. It's kind of annoying. It would probably give you a headache. At least it does for me. Now, in terms of booms, no one likes the tri-fold booms, okay guys? No one likes them. And no one likes the Pro 700 monitor. They say that you could stick that where the sun doesn't shine. That's what they tell me. I kind of have to agree with them. I do not like the Pro 700. We run the Viper 4s and these ones, and they're pretty awesome. And obviously the John Deere has a super good monitor in it as well. Now, they like the dual boom on the John Deere, as well as we had it on the Road Gator and the Apache. One being Millennial and one being the Palmier boom. And so saying that regarding the booms, obviously you can get the double fold 132-foot Millennial booms on the case sprayers as well. Now, being that the Trident has air and it's air ride, you can do the blowback, you can push everything back into your product tank. And obviously since the John Deere has air, you can also do the exact same thing with it. Now, this is not to be confused with the Road Gator's recovery system, where you can literally suck everything out of the booms or blow it out of the booms from one way all the way back up into your tank. No, that's not it at all. Basically, especially on the case, you can just blow out the line that goes into your tank and push it into your tank. Now, on the John Deere, you might actually be capable of blowing out your booms, but it is not recoverable to put it back in your tank. To my knowledge, anyway. Obviously, the Trident has a major pro. It has a freaking air horn, and that thing is awesome. That is probably almost a reason to buy the sprayer right there. But but you can also use this and to air up a tire. You got air hose and fittings and stuff in there. I'm sure you can do the same on the Deere. I just haven't found it yet. John Deere's tank is right here. Unless I just don't see it. Worst case scenario, you could definitely install one. Now, obviously the John Deere has a 1,600 gallon tank. You can get a 1,600 gallon tank on the Patriot over there on the other side. You can only get a 1,400 gallon tank on the Tridents. But let's be honest, you and I both know we would all do something about that. When it comes to fueling these things, you got the fuel fill right here and the def on the John Deere. It's actually at the wrong angle. When you want to pressure up your hose, at least ours is quite pressured up, it will actually blow it out. On the Trident, you can either fill it right there on top of this tank, or you put your you hang your nozzle right there, you come up here and you start filling here but you see that tube has to go all the way that way, and you know exactly what that means. It's going to be kicking off like crazy and blowing back. It is not fun to fill on this side. I'd probably recommend filling over there, but that doesn't look very fun either. Yeah. Now the Patriot is most definitely the easiest right on the front. Now, as far as road speed, you can do 33 miles an hour with a Patriot loaded or empty. Only 25, unless you can try and cheat the system, which we all know we would be trying to do, loaded, or 40 empty, which is an average of what, 32.5 or something. And then obviously the Deer, you're 30 loaded, and I think you can cheat that system, and 35 empty. I should point out, if you buy a 4440 with foam markers, you can also have a little air tank and hose and everything. It does not whisk and have an air ride like a semi. It does not have the air ride. You only have an air tank, so maybe you could blow out your rad or something. So that is a bit of a cheat when it comes to a 4440. Obviously the Deer and Case are both air ride, so they're obviously all the time trying to self-level you all the time. So that takes a little bit getting used to. I haven't drove this one, but I don't like the shifting on this one. You have to hold it to stop, and then it shifts again. I don't like that. It's probably going to give trouble. Obviously a Patriot, it's pretty simple. Just turn the little knob and full out. As far as the tires, the Patriots, well, I guess I should talk about the Deer first. These things are terrible to change. Absolutely terrible. They're not fun. You can jack on them. There's got to be different ways because you're actually just lifting up on the suspension. I'm not a fan of changing tires anymore. I'm not a fan of carrying a jack stand around anymore. I'm going to go to duals, easy drive up on a 2x4, and pop, 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 and it's off. The Patriot's pretty easy to jack. No suspension really. No air suspension. But yeah. And it's too tight in here. You have to remove your fenders for our tire grabber. We have a tire grabber to grab the tires. You got to take the fenders off to change the tires. Where the Case, you have a lot of distance. So I'm done changing tires. Now, in terms of cab, obviously the John Deere wins hands down. Like look at this. Look at this joystick. You've got buttons on the back. These are actually your sectional control. The only problem that I was told about the sectional control is it starts from the outside, works in. You can't do it from the center and work out. If you have toggle switches, you can actually shut the center off and just use your outside booms. But obviously, you got nice lit up buttons. There's lights underneath for backlight. You got your coffee cup holder on the right hand side. You got your corner post display. It's the exact same cab that's on their front wheel assist and also on their four-wheel drive tractors. So yeah, John Deere wins for the nicest cab. Now in the Trident, again you got corner post display, but let's be honest, this Magnum cab, it's quite dated, it's quite old. You just got your cheap plastic there. I do like that they covered everything. I like that they covered the steel corner post. I would definitely take this off. It takes you 2 seconds to do. This is the old Combine console that they had back in their old 2166. Like this is really dated. Like this must be like nearly 20 years old or something like that. Okay, this is super old technology. I'm a big fan of toggle switches versus something that you can roll. But I would like to even see maybe more, maybe see 10. Obviously this Pro 700 you can throw it away, but that's the Magnum cab. The Magnum cab also has super good visibility over here on the right hand side. This corner post is actually a little bit farther back. This corner post can get in the way a little bit. Fortunately you can mostly see your boom right here. I would take that railing off, but there is no cup holders on the right hand side, and that is quite annoying. Now in the Patriot cab they use the Steiger. You still got your corner post. This is still a very dated technology. It's all the same here. The cab is different. Obviously your view here is different. This corner post is actually farther back. You'd have to look this way. But this corner post is actually farther this way. So I find that the Magnum cab, I do believe, especially on your right hand side, maybe arguably on your left, is the best visibility in my opinion. I like that you have all vents right here. I just like this a little bit better. But obviously the Steiger cab is still also very dated, but no worries, because Case released their new Magnum and Steiger cab, but not yet for the sprayer. I would probably expect to see that in the next couple years. Now obviously versus visibility, when it comes to these three, your best visibility is going to be with the Patriot. It's a no-brainer. You hardly have anything sticking out past your cab. You can pretty much look down and pretty much see exactly what your wheels are going to drive on. As far as the two heavyweights over here, I think it's pretty similar. Ashton said that the Trident was very difficult to find your tracks. Obviously, when you're coming off of a Patriot, you can easily see. Mark and Jared both said that it's very similar to the John Deere. Again, now in terms of brakes, you do have the disc brakes on the front axle of the Patriots, but let's be honest with yourself. As soon as you touch that pedal, you're coming to an almighty stop, and that is a definite con. Now in the Trident, you don't see any disc brakes in the front or the back, but it still has brakes, obviously, and as soon as you hit that brake pedal, it's the exact same thing as a Patriot. Now the 4060 has disc brakes like the Patriot, but it actually has a brake. I'm pretty sure, as what I was told, that when you hit the brake, you can actually slow yourself down. So that is definitely a pro for the John Deere. I just wanted to show you guys this hub size here. Like, obviously the Patriot hub is quite small when you compare it to the Trident hub, okay? That's a pretty big difference. Now on the 4060, it's bigger than the Patriot, but still not quite as big as the Trident. So if anything is meant to carry weight, it should be this Trident. But now, in saying that, when Jared was bringing this thing back yesterday, it was 35 degrees out. It was super hot, and we were moving it at 41 miles an hour, and it did say that we had an overheating. We're warming up our hubs, so that could be a potential problem as well. Now, in terms of rate controller, Case has their AIM technology through Raven. Is it Hawkeye? Isn't it Hawkeye through Raven? Anyway, you just say you want to spray at 5 gallons, you want to hold 40 pounds pressure, and it will give you a range. You can go all the way up to, say, 20 mile an hour and down to, say, 5 mile an hour, and it will hold that same pressure. It just goes, you know what I mean? On the John Deere, it's basically the exact same thing. They call it ExactApply. It's a pulsing system, holds your pressure. I was told that it will pulse twice as fast as a Case, but I don't have anything to confirm that. But obviously, ExactApply is John Deere's own system. Oh yeah, in terms of weight, I do believe the Patriot is 50-50. And to be honest, I'm not sure of how the weight ratio displacement is on this Trident. Boy, you wouldn't think it'd be too bad how they have it set up. But in saying that, it looks like the Deere is the exact same way, and the Deere is still back heavy for sure. So yeah, I don't have those exact numbers for you for these particular two units. Now, in terms to some of the most important stuff, when it comes to the name, the Patriot, you got the Patriot, you got the Trident, and you have the 4060. Lame. Like, what kind of name is a 4060? Anyway, I like the Trident. I'm a DC guy myself, and not that I don't like Marvel, but I'm a DC guy myself, so Aquaman with the Trident. And in terms of the horn, you got on the Patriot, you got a little beep beep. The 4060, you got a little beep beep. And obviously on the Trident, you got a whoomp, and everything would just back up with respect. So the Trident definitely wins because it has an air horn. So there you have it, you guys. That's it. That's it in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed the videos. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done that. Now, just in terms of pros and cons on this particular unit, let's quickly address that. I'm running out of time on this video. Pro number one is the sheer size of the frame, the wheel motors, the horsepower. I like the Trident for the potential that it has. Pro number two is that air horn. Pro number three is its horsepower. Pro number four is its tire size. I like the larger tire size versus the smaller Patriot ones. Pro number five is its 40 mile an hour road gear empty. Pro number six is the air ride compared to the Patriot. Pro number seven is I have super good visibility in this cab. I'm quite happy about that. I have my 7 manual toggle switches. Pro number 8 would be that I can put my Viper 4 monitor right in here. Alright guys, it's time for some cons now. Con number 1 is the cab. It's dated. Patriot cab. It's dated. Con number 2. Where the heck is my right hand cup holders on this Magnum cab? Con number 4. The road speed on that Trident with a load. What the heck is with a 25 freaking mile an hour road speed when you're loaded on that thing? Don't give me a crap it can't handle it with those big hubs, big wheels, and how that thing is built. Heck, the little Patriots over there with their little hubs and their little wheels can do 33 miles an hour with a 12 and 1600 gallon tank. You can put 16s on that. The John Deere weighs 1,000 pounds heavier base than the Trident does with a 1600 gallon tank as well, doing 30 miles an hour, and that's ridiculous too. You should be doing 35 miles an hour. Don't give me a crap. These things aren't built for that. All right? Don't give me that. That Trident should be bare minimum 30 miles an hour with a load on. Bare minimum. You can't even keep up with your competition. The Deere is doing 30. The Deere can't even keep up with the little Patriots with the 1600 gallon tank. That's embarrassing. Con number 5. The Trident is loud. It just whines. It will give you a headache in there. That's just a fact. I hope that they make their new cabs a lot quieter. Con number 6. What the heck is with a 1400 gallon tank? You'll put a 1600 gallon tank on a little Patriot over there, those little cute hubs you got on that thing, and you only put a 14 on that? That should hold a 2000. That should be a 2000 gallon tank. That sprayer will handle it. 4060 over here, they're like, oh, well, what about me? Can I handle 2000? No, you can't handle 2000. Why? Because you're only a 1200 gallon frame, and they just stretched you up and charged another $30,000 for that. All right, guys, that's it. We're done. And I really did like the Trident. Again, everything has pros and cons, but I think out of everything that we've demoed so far, I think the Trident is probably the one. Like, I haven't run the Deere, but I'm sure the Deere's awesome. But the Trident is probably the one that we like the most. Thanks for following me around, you guys. And I just want to say to all my Patreon sponsors, you guys are just freaking awesome. And I just want to thank you guys so much. And we're basically a big family on there. It's been growing a lot. Ashton is considering taking over Tuesday, doing a Tuesday takeover of my Patreon account, so you can start to see stuff a little bit from her perspective and what she does, or maybe just the outside looking at me. So if all of you YouTubers, if that is of interest of you, make sure you check out the link in the description of this video, or actually in the description of all my videos. I have my Patreon link, and check it out. And as far as Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, I don't use those. So Patreon is my only social media platform. Otherwise, thank you to all you YouTubers out there. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and hang in there, because you know why? The X9 has been confirmed by John Deere to come down to our yards. So we're going to have a lot of exciting stuff this harvest. I was told that Claus was supposed to be making its appearance as well. I had talked to Case in New Holland, but apparently I don't know if they got scared off, but they don't seem to show a lot of interest in that, and that's fine. That's quite okay. And we're going to have ourselves some fun this harvest. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are done with the spraying videos as of now. So thanks for following me around with all the spraying videos. Thank you to all the companies who lent us these demos, and so on and so forth. So that way we could do some shootouts. And maybe next year we'll take a look at some other ones. Oh yeah, and there's also rumor that the 10T, Fendt 10T might show up. So we're going to have ourselves a heck of a lot of fun. And to be honest with you guys, their competition is not the ideal. It is not the Claus combines. It is not the X9 combine. Their competition is this bad boy right there. I'll see you guys later.